Is your old Sony PlayStation 4 bit the dust? It just won't work anymore. The drive just won't read. Well, stay tuned. I'm gonna show you how to easily replace it, so you don't have to replace the entire system. Because don't let a bad drive cause you to go out and spend another what, $400 something. So stay tuned. We're going to get into this. Alrighty, this is Kentucky Ranger. This is my PlayStation 4. It's an older model. I have done a few things like I've extended the range of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. I have a video showing you how to do this. It really works good. So I'll have a link in the description for that. This is, I got a bigger hard drive in here. So, you know, it's just different little thingies like that. I've got this on here so that it don't slide around, so the cats don't knock it off. Same thing with little feller here. Don't judge. Anyhow, I want to swap camera angles so I can show you just how to do this. It's easy. It does require a little technical knowledge, not a whole lot. So you stick around and watch. It's really not that. It's not as hard as it looks. So, and don't be afraid. And another thing, if you own an older PlayStation 4 like this, don't worry about the warranty, because the warranty is already gone. It's already expired. So we'll get into that. So anyhow, we cut scene, swap the camera, and we'll get started on this. It won't take very long either. Okay, before we dig into the meat and potatoes of this, there's some tools you're going to need. You're going to need a Torx security driver, which is this little sucker right here. It's a T8. The reason it's security is because the tip here, you can see there's like a little hole, and this is supplied with this kit. This is a OEM kit from Sony. So anyhow, they were kind enough to include this. You need this to get inside the unit itself. Tweezers, highly recommend some tweezers, and a small Phillips head screwdriver. That's all you're going to need to do this replacement. It's really not going to be that bad. Anyhow, it's really nice that Sony actually sells these on Amazon. It's really, really cool of them. So what you want to do is on the back here, I've got this because I have this and I have a fan, so I've got that wired. You have to unplug the power, because what you're going to do is take the back off. The first thing you want to do, I'm going to take a picture of it so you can get a close-up view, is you're going to have the model number, which is right here. My model number is C. Good Lord, it's so hard to see. Why would you put gray on black? Mine is CUH1115A. It's very important that you have your model number of this, and when we get inside here, you also have the model number of the logic board, or the what do they call it, daughter board, because you have to swap that out for this drive to work. The newer PlayStation 4s, they did away with the chip. These DVD drives have a chip that is married to the motherboard, and you have to have it for copyright protection. Anyhow, there's 3 screws. Make sure that's centered. There's 3 screws. Now, I've already got the security tape. There's little taped on plastic tabs, and one of them, I think the center one, says void if removed. See this tab here? I haven't taken that one off, but you only have to remove the bottom. You don't have to remove everything. But you just start by taking these 3 screws out. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Yes, let that drop. There we go. In order to get this off, you have to, some of them are a little different. This one, let's see, you wiggle it just a little bit and it'll lift up. See how it lifts up? And then because I've got this antenna on here, I have to be careful. You push it forward and then you open it up like that. Okay, now this is the inside. Don't freak out. Now the next step you have to do is remove the power supply. Now for that, you have these long Phillips head screws. Let me make sure this is centered. Make sure you guys see this. Okay. Take these Phillips head screws out. And don't worry which way these go, because these clips, they're grounding clips. They go either way, so it doesn't matter. So don't freak out if you don't remember which side you took out, because they're both the same. They both have really long screws. Let's set those to the side. And now there's 3 of the Torx. Now these aren't security, but it's the same size, the T8 Torx. Okay, and you remove these. Now you're going to pull this power supply up. Now this power supply is hooked to the motherboard via 2 metal tabs. So what you want to do is kind of get your finger and just kind of wiggle it and pull while you're wiggling, because you don't want to force it, because you might break those tabs off of the motherboard. It'll eventually pop. Oops, I think it just popped. And don't just pull this off, because there's also some, there it goes, some ribbon cable. So just lift, hinge it over, and you can see down here, there's a small plug that goes to the motherboard. You can take the motherboard side. Yeah, I'll do that, it's the easiest. But you want to get in there with your tweezers. And this is another one, you wiggle it a little bit to get it to unlock. Let me see if I really need to, let me take the plug of this. That way I don't have to worry about goofing my antenna up. Now you're gonna have to unplug your Wi-Fi antenna. I'll show you that here in a second once I get this undone. This is just gonna make it a lot easier on me. These tweezers in there, just, oh, come on. What should come out of there? Why is it being so stubborn? There it goes. Okay, set that aside. When you got this open, it's a really good idea to clean the dust and the dirt and the grunge and the crap off of it. Now, we're getting to another point here. See, here's the antenna. It's not even hooked up, but you do have to remove this in order to access and get the DVD drive out of there. So I'm just going to take that out. I'll put it back in so you all can see how you're supposed to plug this back in. Get out of there. It's stubborn. Anyhow, the reason that I did this with the antenna is because this is the antenna for the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. And what happens, I think, over time, because this is cheap pot metal, the solder joint loses its connection, so your signal strength goes to crap. That's why I did what I did. Now, before we take the drive itself out, you're going to have to do this before you order a replacement drive. What did I do with the screwdriver? Lord, I swear. Okay, now the way to do that, you have to take this shielding off. And that's held on with these tiny little Phillips head screws. There's 3 of them. Okay, once you get those 3 screws off, you gently pull the shielding out, finagle it a little bit and it'll come out. Set that aside. Now, this number here, this model number of this board, another thing, before you start handling this stuff, make sure you touch the metal chassis here to ground yourself out, especially if you're in a dry climate or if it's the middle of winter when you're doing this, because one little zap will take that chip out and you don't want to do that. So first thing we need to do, like I said, is you get this model number. This one is BDP-025. It's very important when you're going Amazon that the model number of this daughter board and the model number of your PlayStation 4 matches the new drive that you're going to get. So just make sure that you do that. Now we're going to remove this drive. So what we do is we take our tweezers and very carefully finagle this ribbon wire out. Well, I could probably do it with my fingers with this one. Just very gently pull this ribbon wire out of that plug. Why is that taking so much force? It should just pull out of there. So I don't want to force it. I have to push down on that. They got so many different little funky locks. There we go. You have to push down on this little tab on this particular one, and there, and it comes out. Okay, you want to do the same down here, because you don't want to deform this. This is a shielded ribbon cable, and you can see the way it's made. It's made to be that shape because this is shielded to keep any crosstalk signals or anything like that. So with that removed, we can now remove this power cable for the DVD player. See if I can get that out of there. These tweezers, I should have a pair of needle nose. If I get some more light in here. There we go. And you want to finagle this cable out. Make sure that's loose. That's going to come out of there. Put this out of there. Just wiggle it and get it out. There it comes. There we go. Okay. Now to get this off, It has the same T8 torque screws. There's, I think, 3 of these. Check here. Yeah, this is the 3rd one. Yeah, actually 4. The 4th one is the one that holds the antenna in. So I'll probably put the antenna back just because it's part of what holds this in. Let's see, it should be it. I don't want to force anything. Okay, why isn't that coming out? It should come out of there. Is that screw? I didn't think that was part of it. Maybe it is. No, it's not part of it. Oh, let me look at this other drive for a reference. Excuse me, folks, but this is the first time I've done this, so I'm not. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. Interesting. So these little teeny tiny little screw. It still don't look like that should be what's causing this to stay in there. It's not. Or is it? Okay, I need to get this wire out from under there. Come out of there. Let's see. Oops. There it goes there. Okay. Free these wires up for this. There we go. Okay. There. Oh, I guess it was just the wire was holding it in there. There it comes. Okay. This is a learning process. So, the entire casing doesn't come out, just the drive part. Okay, there we go. Nothing else is attached. So there's the drive. And while you're in here, make sure you get that dust in that little slot where the DVD goes. Okay, now I want to cut scene to show you how to swap out the logic board. Because if you notice, well, let's cut scene to this. Okay, get ready, take 2. Okay, here's the new board. Now if you notice, it comes with a logic board. And you think, well, okay, Ranger, it comes with one. Why do you have to swap this one with this one? Well, this one has a special chip that is flashed to the motherboard of my PlayStation. This one has a generic encryption chip that it can be used, but you have to take it somewhere, a service center, where they can flash this to your specific PlayStation. This is why you have to swap these boards. So to swap, like you just showed you there, you have to take those out. And then you take your tweezers, because you want to remove these ribbon cables. I don't know why that one's all wanky looking. So you remove the ribbon cable. Oh, I need some better tweezers. These tweezers aren't very grippy. we're gonna cut scene. I want to get some better tweezers. Okay, got some better tweezers. So grip onto that and gently pull ribbon cable out of there. Just wiggle it a little bit. Let me make sure that doesn't have a lock, because some of these have locks, like this little push button lock. I don't think so. I think it just comes out. Well, they don't give you much of a tab for this one. I have to use these other tweezers to get in there. Well, okay, that's not gonna work. Let me see if I can just pull it out. Still say there's a lock. Usually there's a little lock that you have to pop out. I don't really see one. Oh, it does have a lock. Okay. All right. Yeah, it does flip up. I didn't even see that. I swear my eyes are going so bad. Okay. This one doesn't have. These two smaller ones don't have locks. This one does. These tweezers in. Come on. Old eyes. Get in there. Oh, I swear this is getting monotonous here. Let me see if I can just grab it. Pull. There, okay. Now this circuit board has, oh, it's only got one screw. Huh. Thought it had two. But another thing you'd want to do, like I said, if it's winter time, is if you're on carpeting, take some Windex or something and spray the carpet, real light mist. And anyhow, this is the encryption chip. This is the one that gets flashed with the system. So this is a generic one that would need to be professionally flashed, and you know, and I don't have that kind of equipment. So let me unlock this. Come on. There it goes. Okay. It's the same thing with this. You want to gently pull these out. See how easy that comes? That's why it doesn't have a pull tab on it, and these do. Anyhow, we'll just, now this one's going to be a curmudgeon. There it goes. Okay. See if I can just gently, there we go. Okay, the same thing. Now this, and don't get them mixed up. Make sure that the logic board from your original PlayStation is the one that you're putting in. So, good way to do that is the power connector. See, this one doesn't have the wires. It has the connector, but it doesn't have the wires. So make sure the one with the wires is the one you're putting in. And this is the logic chip. This is the encryption chip that is married to this PlayStation, my PlayStation. Let's just table separate. That's weird. Okay, so let's slide this in. Get these ribbon cables out of the way. Get my big fingers out of the way. Okay, there's little pins here. I just noticed that line this up. So that's, you know, like I said, we're both learning here. Me and you, the viewer. Now, the reason I did this is this drive hasn't went bad yet. It's just making noises like it's tired and it's just about ready to retire. So I decided to do this now. So when this one actually goes out, I'll have this one for a backup until I can get a replacement. Now, if your system has been hit by lightning or something has happened to this logic board, you're gonna have to take it in somewhere, because this new board would have to be flashed to the system or it won't work. You can still play DVD movies, but you can't play games, because the encryption for those games, if it doesn't recognize that game is on this drive for this system, it won't play the game. Later models, the newer models, I don't think have that anymore. So that's one step you don't have to do. With this, you do. Okay, now let's carefully put these ribbon cables back. Get it to slide in there really nice. Once it's in, oh, that don't look good. I really want to get them seated in there perfect. Okay, that looks like it's lined up really good. All right, let's do this little bitty one. This little bitty feller, the one that gave me some trouble. I don't know why that little tab. Well, I'm not going to separate it. Just very careful. I mean, it's not that these are going to break if you breathe on them, but you do want to be gentle with them. You don't want to manhandle them too much. Yeah, use these other tweezers. I think they work better. There we go. I can get in there flat. Why am I having so much trouble? Get in there, you stubborn thing. Come on. There it goes. There it goes. Get in there, didn't you can pretty much feel when they're in, because they will you can feel them bottom out. That's all you need to do. Just make sure that they're wiggle it. There we go. See how that bottomed out? See, that's what this one did too. Okay, so those are in. That's about it. Now what I want to do, I want to take this drive and just put this board back with it. See this BDP 025. See, this number matches this number, so that's another thing. Kind of make sure when you do get this, to make sure that they didn't send you the wrong logic board. See, mine's the BDP 025, and we have, let's see, I'm reading here, the BDP 010, BDP 105, BDP 020, and the BDP 025. And from what I was reading, the BDP 020 and 025 are cross compatible, but yeah, just make sure that everything matches. It has to match, because if it doesn't, it's not going to work. I think a lot of people, I've seen bad reviews on Amazon about this. So anyhow, get these back in. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one for a rainy day. So something ever happens to the new one, even though this one was making funny noises, it wasn't dead yet. So I'm going to use it for a backup if this new one ever dies. I'm thinking the system will probably become outdated before it ever does, but just in case, I'm going to keep this in its box. There we go. So anyhow, now I got a backup for my backup. Now it's just the easy part. The hard part's over. Now the easy part is to put this mechanical contraption back together. So what we need to do is put this back in, nice and straight. Get it lined up with all the little pins, all the little holes. There it goes. There, seated really nice. So now let's put the screws back. Lord, I can't hardly see the reflection. It looks like that's all back in. Now let's put the antenna back. It's hard to believe it. That's the antenna for the Wi-Fi. That's crazy. I guess it just went across that like that. That's the only thing I can think. Okay, now let's plug this back in. These wires so they're not all finagling around. There we go. Now we can put this back. Fits right back in there. So you got to push that little plunger down there, and it seats just like that. Okay, now I'll put the power supply back. And before I fully reassemble this, I'm going to make sure. Oh, wait a minute! I've got to put my antenna back. So let's see, let's plug the power supply back in. Ick. this is keyed. It will only go in one way. So I got that in. Get my antenna back. Get in there. There. Put that on. There we go. All right. Place that back down. Now let's get the power supply back in. Just gently push that back down. Okay. Now we're going to loosely reassemble this, and I'm going to take it in and plug it in to make sure that everything works before I completely reassemble it. That way, if something's wrong, I won't be out the time it's going to take it back apart. Okay, that's about that. So we're going to cut scene, and the way you put this back on is you put it up front, and then you drag it back, and then seat it. Then you put the screws back in. I'm left with a screw. I'm not exactly sure where it went. I'll probably see in the post. I don't think it's real important, but crap. It is what it is. Oh God, I even got one of these. Anyhow, let's plug this in and see how it works. By the power of Grayskull. Hopefully, if everything worked out, when I turn this on, it'll be like nothing ever happened. Let's see what happened. Ooh, something's happening. PlayStation. Boom. Okay. Now the big secret, or the big thing that's going to happen, is when I put a DVD in here for the game, whether or not the encryption chip is going to work. It's spinning up. I hear it. I hear whiz bangy thingies. What do you know? It's Fallout 76. So let's open it up and see what happens. Actually, I'm not connected to the internet, so there we go. Like nothing ever happened. Brand new DVD drive. What is it, $52? So yeah, it's working. It's very important, like I said, that board, that you swap that board out, because it's married to the motherboard of your PlayStation. If you don't, it's not going to work. See what happens, because I'm not even connected to the Wi-Fi. It's probably going to tell me I can't. Yeah, authentication. I'm not hooked to the internet. I should have picked a different game. Why did I pick the one game that you have to be online to play? But anyhow, it proves that it works. Because if it didn't, there would be an error message that it's not going to work. But anyhow, another thing I found out, I wasn't missing screws. Those screws went to put the shielding back on the other drive that I have saved. So I didn't have any screws left over. So that being said, it works. It's 5 Rangers. I mean, this is OEM. Now you can get on Amazon, there's other sellers that are a little cheaper, but I went with Sony because it's a direct replacement. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. I don't know if those are sellers on Amazon that have a deal with Sony, or if it's Sony itself, but it's an actual Sony OEM replacement, so I don't know. All I know is it works, and now I have a backup drive in case this one ever goes out. Anyhow, appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks for watching. Me and my goofy old eyes, Lord, I fumbled through it. So anyhow, God bless everybody. I'm gonna pack this up, finish reassembling. Like I said, reassembly, it's really easy. You just put that lid back on, put the 3 screws in, and you're done. So anyhow, appreciate y'all watching. God bless, and see you on the next one.